Another insane day. I keep using that word insane because it seems insane to me. I've been doing videos for years, everybody, tracking crypto, and we've been, from a technical analysis perspective, talking about how Bitcoin is doing something that it really hasn't done in cycles past. So it is insane. It's crazy. So everybody, appreciate you cruising through right now. Hit the subscribe, smash the like on the way in, and let's just jump into this. It's not going to be a crazy long live stream, but I wanted to track what's going on with crypto, what's going on mainly with Bitcoin. What's interesting about this, like 50 minutes ago or so, 51 minutes ago, I said $43,000 Bitcoin inbound. And just like that, as I start this live stream, $44,000 was almost just tested. So this is a move that I want to discuss. Before we do, I want to kind of talk about what's happening on the macro in terms of the cycles, because as you all know, I'm a macro person. I'm just, a longer term thinker in terms of Bitcoin. This is the roadmap. Whether you hold Bitcoin, whether you hold altcoins, this is the roadmap for crypto cycles. So let's start. And I just want to throw out this sentiment and let me know in the comments. I see the comments over here scrolling a little bit. Let me know what you think. But I said, I'm positive that there's a group of people that know exactly when the Bitcoin spot ETF will be approved. That's kind of what I think. And I don't think I think probably a lot of you think that. A lot of people in crypto think that, because this move that Bitcoin is doing right now, it is actually so uncommon. And Bitcoin has been very consistent through these cycles. But what's happening right now, prior to the halving, it is kind of uncommon at this stage. And it is diverging a little bit from where we were this timeline in the last cycle. So it seems like something special is happening. And to piggyback on that thought, before we dive into the daily charts and maybe what's in store for upside, what's in store for downside, I want to show you a clip in regards to Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin scarcity. This is from CNBC. So keep in mind, even in the media, Bitcoin's getting like this bull market attention. And this is what's crazy, is we're not in the post-halving bull market stage yet. That's usually when this happens. It's happening now, prior to the halving. And that is something that is really standing out to me. Check this clip out real quick. This is from CNBC. This was, looks like from today. Check it.
So what we've seen historically is that the 12 to 16 months after a halving is the best performance of Bitcoin.
So he's actually making a perfect note about what we're talking about on the cycles of crypto, meaning the 12 to 16 months after the halving, right here. And this is what we've been discussing. This move, that's usually the best performing for Bitcoin for crypto. And I think he's kind of alluding to that because there's a move happening earlier this time around. And check out what he says here.
That's what everybody's thinking about. This time might be different.
There it is, everybody. This time might be different.
Because the price of Bitcoin's higher. We now only have, I think it's 900 Bitcoin a day that come out, so that gets cut in half. It's not a lot of Bitcoin, but what it does do is it makes Bitcoin more scarce than gold. So for the first time in history, you have an asset that is more scarce than gold.
Bitcoin more scarce than gold. These are the narratives floating around, everybody. Pre-halving, pre-crypto hype of the bull market hype when, everything's going parabolic. And we have the spot Bitcoin ETF. And we have so many other things in play right now. So Bitcoin's moving very nicely. I see some new people in the chat. Everybody hit the like on your way in. It really means a lot to me. Your support for this channel, for these videos, it means a ton. So let's look at the Bitcoin chart. This is the Bitcoin move. Kind of getting some of that macro stuff off the table. And actually, we're going to come back to the macro because I just do want to point something out, target to the upside on the macro. But this is the Bitcoin move, the daily breakout. And I feel repetitive saying this, but we've been tracking for quite some time this yellow trend line that Bitcoin broke out of. And mainly what we've been tracking is the bearish divergence that was setting up for Bitcoin on the momentum oscillator. And Bitcoin broke through. And this is what's so different about the move. We were looking at the bearish divergence similar that was happening back here, right? So put in a little bit of a higher high. we're trending down the RSI, and then boom, the fall, boom, the fall. Well, Bitcoin's making a break back into overbought territory. Bitcoin has diverged away from its typical price movement. And when we see things like this happening, this is where I get this sense that there's a group of people that know exactly when the Bitcoin spot ETF will be approved. I think this is such a big reason. The Bitcoin spot ETF anticipation for the market, you and I. But I also just think there's a ton of big money out there that knows what is happening, when it's going to happen. And I think people are getting their foot in the door. And that I don't think that will come without pullbacks. They're just happening in a different type of vibe this time around, right? We're going into overbought a little bit more than usual at this time of the cycle. And what I mean by that is we're getting this momentum oscillator right here that you see here. This is very bull market vibes, right? This is if we look at the cycles of crypto, this is very similar to what would happen in this area or in this area on the daily, but not in this area pre-halving. And let me explain that. If we go back to the daily chart, we see this momentum oscillator cruising once again to the upside, bouncing right above 50 on this momentum oscillator. Let's just go and just take a quick look at Bitcoin. Let me kind of zoom out a little bit. Here's Bitcoin in the kind of parabolic, entering the bull market phase of the last bull market. These are bull market vibes. You can see the oscillator here on the daily, just kind of hanging out and overbought a lot, dipping to 50, but boom, right back up into overbought. That's bull market vibes. That's what's happening right here. We got into overbought, we're coming dip to 50, and we're going higher. That's bull market vibes, right? And that is why I say this is happening a little bit earlier than usual. Now, a couple targets to the upside I just want to discuss on Bitcoin, whether we reach it in the shorter term or not. I just want to point them out. We have the falling wedge, which is a huge falling wedge. It's like the whole entire bear market of lower lows and lower highs. Breakout in January, target to the upside around 55,000. And then a shorter term target out of this rising wedge, right around 48,000. That's $5,000 away, but you can see Bitcoin just reaching for the stars. If this continues, right? And by the way, on the RSI, maybe we put in another higher high on the, if this continues, a higher high on the RSI from this swing high, that $48,000 target obviously in play if this hype continues. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself and say we're heading there, but that's the next target. Otherwise, in the midterm, this is kind of price discovery. That's what we're watching, is like a little bit of price discovery for Bitcoin. I saw somebody real quick. I just want to touch on this. Somebody said, why aren't alts moving? Everybody over the years, this is what I've seen. And this is just my perspective on crypto markets. In bullish environments, cryptos in general, they take turns. Sometimes Bitcoin won't be doing anything. Solana will be pumping. Sometimes nothing will be doing anything. Cardano will be pumping. This just is what it is. A lot of times over the years, through cycles, especially when we get macro pivots of some sort, Bitcoin does tend to, it just moves, right? It moves first, and then all of a sudden we have to wait for altcoins to take their turns. So these happen in spurts, and everything takes turns. So just wanted to point that out. It's not like, hey man, Bitcoin's moving, everything should be moving with it. It's like a long line of cryptos, and each crypto kind of takes its turn. So this is Bitcoin, 2 targets. I would say the next target for me, just tracking on the daily, is $48,000. That's just because it's a technical target out of this rising wedge that we've been tracking for quite some time. You can see, just look at the consolidation at this trend line here that Bitcoin was in. It's the higher high, higher low consolidation leading into the larger yellow trend line that we've been tracking. And that's the big breakout right there, everybody. So $48,000. But again, all of this doesn't come without potential pullbacks, throwbacks to trend lines, right? So to the downside, if there's going to be a major just retracement, and Bitcoin's getting some separation now from this area, but that's around $38,000 or so to the downside from where Bitcoin is right now. We're looking at a 10% fall. 10% consolidation for Bitcoin in just a bullish environment is nothing, right? So And that's what's so awesome about this is I talked about this a lot in yesterday's video. Even if Bitcoin were to just give up this entire move and just fall all the way back down to 30,000, maybe the 20-week moving average, let me zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. The 20-week moving average, you can see just hovering just above the 200, so the green, the red, even the blue line at 50, the 50 moving average on the weekly, that's like $28,000 to $31,000. Even if Bitcoin made a retracement to these moving averages, it is just such a common move. It's such a bullish move for Bitcoin as we lead into the Bitcoin halving. But again, with the narratives that are going on right now, who knows? As a lot of people might say, this time is different. So who knows? Maybe it is. But last thing I want to touch upon is this, especially as we have a $48,000 target, kind of a more midterm target, longer term target of 57,000. I really wanted, and I'm going to do a whole video on this. I really want to touch on the fact that we have the last bull market high to bear market low, Fibonacci retracement, the lower high channel in green. $48,000 is the 618 line, everybody. The 618 line is $48,000. Of that, that's the bull market doors. I'm anticipating this is broken post-halving over here. But the 618 line is $48,000. That's so notable to me because in the last cycle, bull market high to bear market low, Bitcoin, you can see, touched the 618 line. Hasn't happened yet this cycle around, right? But that's the target that we have, $48,000. Why do I keep doing that? And then we can even actually go all the way back to two cycles ago and take our Fibonacci 2013 bull market high to bear market low. You can see even pre-halving, Bitcoin actually touched the 618 line. So if you really want to get that shorter term hopium on the daily charts, that's the case for Bitcoin hitting $48,000 target. It's hitting the 618 of the bull market doors. That would be absolutely crazy to me. So this is the Bitcoin move, everybody. It's awesome to see. I'm enjoying it. This is a huge pivot in terms of the cycles of crypto. We zoom out on these charts, everybody. If we want the bull market, the parabolic bull market phase to get here, even if there's going to be retracements along the way, even if Bitcoin crashes tomorrow, these moves that we're getting right now, they're so pivotal. They're so important to that longer term bull market. So appreciate you cruising through, everybody. If you're here right now, once again, smash the like button for me. If you're enjoying these crypto markets, let me know it in the comments. Wanted to keep this short. I'll put some timestamps if you're a replay viewer on YouTube. And if you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe, turn notifications on. If you're on Twitter watching this, hit the follow button, hit the like, hit the reshare. Again, everybody, I really mean it. I thank each and every one of you for cruising along on this crypto journey with me. We'll continue tracking all of these charts. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.